Yeah. No, it's tough. I mean, I think no, never mind. I'll just hold on to this thought because it's going to become relevant later. So,
Oh.
never mind. But cuz I didn't want to say something and then I think it's been mentioned before, but I'm not 100% sure, but it's going to be mentioned in a future episode, so I will just wait. Cut everything I just said, future Maggie, who has to edit this. So anyway,
Hmm.
so we've made it to the last part. We finally got there 3, 4 hours later. The future that they bring when tomorrow comes. There's so many beautiful lyrics in this show, but yeah, here we are. We're on opening night. It's happening. We're here. The timing, the timeline in this section is a little weird because it's like we've seen. That's the weird thing about the musical episodes is like
Mm-hmm.
we jump to like we jump in and out of the actual performance versus wherever we are in
Yeah.
time. So it's like theoretically we've seen like parts of the show already.
Right.
So that's why
Yeah.
it's like
Okay.
I think we have like one song and then it skips to act 2. Like, okay, time for act 2. So it's like timing's weird. But we're here. We made it. Everything's crazy. Having a good time. Um Before the
I
chaos
feel like it
unfolds.
works. It works. Like, there's a lot going on in the whole episode, but I feel like if you were watching it,
Yeah. Oh
it
yeah.
would feel a lot more like you were building the show
Yes.
out as you went.
Because you would see the lapse in time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Like it's not as obvious without the visuals, I think.
Mm-hmm. But here we are.
Yes.
So
Here we
it's
are.
chaotic. Everything's going crazy because let me tell you that is how it is before opening night. Is
Mm-hmm.
like all the techies are running around, like all the actors are running around, like trying to get everything ready. But it's a little quieter as you get closer to the booth. You know, the auditorium
Ooh.
relatively is quiet compared to backstage, and Riley is making her way up there. She knocks on the door, but Lucas
Oh.
appears to not be there. So she's a little disappointed. She's like, well, damn. And she starts to leave. But then a little bit of mystery is solved. She looks a little bit more distinctly and she finds Lucas is, in fact, in the booth. He is just not in the chair. He is sitting on the floor in front of the electrical cabinet, leaning back with his arms on his knees and his eyes closed, and he's basically like meditating is what he's doing. He wouldn't call
Oh,
it
he
that.
so needs to meditate. He
But
so needs
that's
that.
kind of what he's doing. And it's just really this I really like this like this visual of contrast between like all the chaos that's going on beyond the booth, and then in the booth it's just
Mm-hmm.
this, it's just quiet,
Yeah.
it's temporary peace, it's Lucas just by himself, like in his safe space.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
really
I
love
love
that.
that. That's such a beautiful metaphor for how Riley is for him as well.
Yes,
Like,
and that she can step into that space and not disrupt it, that she
yeah,
can be a part of it. I mean, we talked about this a little bit when we talked about their scene in this episode earlier, but like again, it's like the theme of quiet with Riley and Lucas is so big.
yes.
It's the peace. Would it be enough
It's
if I could
it,
never
it
give you peace, you know?
ah,
Taylor
just
Swift,
it's so
Midnights.
it's the
uh,
romance is coming out with the you're just going to leave without saying goodbye. Like,
yes, yes. The fact
hello?
that that he chose to say something, that he didn't just let her leave, that he stopped her so that she would keep talking to him or start talking to him. B, the fact that he noticed her, even if she felt like she kind of stepped in and was interrupting something and stepped
Mm-hmm.
out. I think that speaks to like, again, Lucas's hyper awareness that like, oh, he
Mm-hmm.
knows if someone's entering the booth. Like he's not zoned out like that. But the fact that he didn't open his eyes, but he knew it was her.
Yeah, he probably heard her, like, that sounds weird actually, but probably heard just like her breath or like her shoes, and he's like so
Mm-hmm.
tuned in to what everyone sounds like, but especially Riley.
Yeah.
And the fact that he said something, because we've all done it. If you're in a bad mood and you're like pretending to be asleep or something, and someone comes in, you can so easily continue to pretend to be asleep or whatever. But he didn't do that because he wants to talk to her.
You said that right. You
And the
said that
fact
completely
that
right.
is that she could have been like, I think a lot of people would say, oh, Riley's like so hectic and like annoying, she talks all the time. Like that is kind of her thing. And she is very chattery. But then the fact that she gets that he might have wanted to just be in the quiet. and she
Yeah.
wasn't gonna disturb it. It's beautiful.
So true. And you just saying that made me think about how like that's one reason she and Dylan are really good friends is because they're both chattery. So that's probably one reason that Lucas knew it wasn't like Dylan and Asher and
True.
Dave is because if it was Dylan, he'd like stomp in with his little sneakers. He's like, Lucas, we need help setting up the thing. And he'd just like immediately start talking, and Lucas would be like, oh my fucking god. Because I think
Yeah,
like Dylan, like,
he comes in like singing, like, "Are you ready for it?" Like,
oh my god,
play those
yeah,
clips of
like Dylan is like, we know he's like very aware of people and he's very considerate and he's very like, he's so good at reading people, but I feel like that's a skill he develops, like he learns from
Mhm.
that. And I feel like, 15, 16-year-old Dylan, like sophomore year, has not really honed that skill yet. So he would have
Yeah,
just
I
marched
think
right in there, like,
so.
Lucas, my best friend, like, what's up? And
Yes.
Lucas would be like, I'm trying to have a
Like, I
moment.
think
Could you
if
leave?
Lucas was, like, crying, which he wouldn't be, but if Lucas was crying, Dylan would immediately come to his aid, like, he would immediately, like, switch because he can do that,
hmm
but that isn't, like it's not as instinctual at this point, like, to know exactly. Yeah.
He is in the process of honing. It's off screen. We're not seeing it, but he's in the process of honing his skill set. So,
Yes, he is. He isn't. I mean, and I guess if it was anyone else, like if it was Asher or Jeff or Jade or Issa, like they would all have like some like thing that'd be like, Lucas, like you didn't do this or like
right,
this
they would
thing
have.
broke.
Asher walks in. He's like, "Oh, this place is disgusting,"
Yeah.
and he thinks Lucas
He's
isn't
like,
there, and Lucas is like, "What'd you fucking say?"
he's like, I mean, haven't you?
Bye. Gotta go. Prop loft. Yeah,
Yeah,
so good.
it's fine.
So yes, Riley has been caught, and she kind of is a little sheepish about that, but Lucas is not. I mean, he's picking on her, but he's not like upset. Like he's just picking on her. But he explains like the very vague thing of like he's just taking his pre-show bout of silence, and no one's supposed to bother him. And she's like, "Well, I can come back. I didn't mean to." But then he says, "It's fine." So no one's
Fine.
supposed to bother him, but it's fine that Riley bothered him. So
Because it's not a bother.
yes.
She's not even bothering him.
She
That's the thing.
is, as he says in season 3, she is always the exception. So,
Ah, beautiful.
goddamn.
I love him.
So yeah, so she basically thanks him for the wonderful scene that we saw earlier, for being there for her and listening, and the advice. And she's like, it was because he says it wasn't a big deal, and she says, well, it was to me. So thank you. And then they have this soft eye contact, specifically
Oof.
is what it is called
Mm.
in this writing. So the quiet is lingering. There is lingering
Mhm.
eye contact. Like moments are being had. Tension is being felt, but like not bad tension. It's like okay,
Yeah, like Lucas is
romance.
like having like he's like his brain isn't doing anything, but he's like aware of the fact that like something's going on
hmm
and like stuff is I mean, I can't believe there's three more episodes of the season. Like
Yeah, the feelings are being caught. Is feelings were caught already, and now they are being assessed.
yes, they're being reviewed and
They're
a
being peer
memo
reviewed.
might yeah, they're being peer reviewed, cited and
So yeah, I mean, next episode is gonna be with all the pairings, there's a lot going on. So that'll be
it's
interesting.
heck.
Hopefully that won't take 5 hours, but we'll see.
I mean,
Um, so then Jeff enters, which he probably just walks right in there because he's like, I have to be in here, so I don't have to like tread cautiously. That's like I think an interesting thing is like, yes, the booth is Lucas's space, but the booth is like Jeff's space too because that's literally his
mhm,
workstation. Like he has to be in there.
yeah,
So I feel like he and Lucas have this understanding of like, bro, if I gotta come in here, I'm gonna come in here. Like if you need it, like if you really need it, text me and be like, don't come in here right now, and I'll respect that. But
yeah,
otherwise, like I gotta be the exception, bro, because I have to do my shit. So I love
yeah.
that like
Honestly,
dynamic.
that is great. It's an underrated dynamic of Jeff being like the chillest one like the most normal person
Hmm.
almost like in the whole A class, and he's
Yeah.
just like, you know, Lucas has his stuff. I let him do that. I'm not trying to make a thing out of it. I'm not talking about it. We're just being quiet and normal, and nothing is going on.
Hmm.
That's life. Off we
Yeah.
go.
I like it. I love that, and like the kind of rapport that they have, because he says like he asked if he should come back. Not that he really has much time, given that they're opening the doors in 10 minutes, and someone needs to set up the lights. So like he's got his little sass, but like
Yeah. It's really cute actually, and like you can imagine that. I feel like you feel that trust that they have, which is just another reason why the techies are so great, because as close as Lucas is with like Asher and Dylan and Issa, you know, he has this really strong bond with Dave, and then he does have that with all of them, and it's
hmm.
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's all the techies are like. I think it's partially because like this is kind of the only like character moment that Jeff has in season one. Like he's very in the
Honestly,
background in the season, but like you can see the foundations already of what they're gonna become in the future. So it's like they were always there. It was just they're waiting for their chance to step into the
yeah,
spotlight.
so happy for him.
So then Riley's like, oh, okay, like you got stuff to do, so I'm gonna leave. But she, wishes them luck, and Lucas returns it. Now he's so good at it because he practiced. So he's like, break a leg.
Mm. Mm.
Amazing. So then there's this other small moment that I highlighted in blue for my favorite of they settle in, they're gonna do their thing. Like Lucas is at the soundboard, Jeff's at the lighting board, but Jeff can't not comment. So he goes, I thought no one was allowed up here during pre-show quiet. And Lucas is just like, shut up. Don't talk to me, Jeff. But I just love that Jeff's like, I cannot resist the moment to clock him right now.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not giving him shit, but I'm just gonna like give him a little bit of shit.
Yeah.
Like nothing going on here, but
And it's like we
I guess.
know at this point, knowing what we know in season three when they did the flashback in the Beauty and the Beast episode of the techies kind of like assessing Riley and Lucas in this time
Mm,
frame. Jeff obviously knows, like, all the techies have talked about it. They're like, no, bro, like, Lucas likes Riley. Like, this is so obvious. Like, I don't. He's so
so
stupid. Like, he think
cute.
he's not obvious. He's so obvious. So Jeff, like, is standing there, like, dude, like, I
Dude,
know, man.
you will not believe what I saw.
I mean, he's gonna
He's
text the techie Tassie. He's gonna be like, y'all, guess what? And Dylan's
yo
gonna be like, ah!
going insane. I
So
love
good.
that. Oh, he's so cute.
So then there's this interesting moment before the show starts behind the scenes between Issa and Maya, where
Ooh.
Maya's kind of like trying to have her redemption moment. So she's like, Issa, like, you're gonna be fine. Good for you. And it's like, it's interesting because I feel like it's a kind of stilted, but I feel like part of that is because Maya, I think, when she fucks up, she then has such a hard time like making up for it because she's
Mm,
so not used to having to be the one apologizing, like the one trying to make it better. But I think it's interesting. Obviously, like Riley clocked her a little bit this episode, but I think it's interesting that the dynamic between Issa and Maya, like Maya feels it's worthwhile enough to try and amend it. Or try, like, the respect
yeah.
there is foundational enough that she's like, okay, like I'll try my best to like apologize.
I mean, their relationship is so like it's so early beginnings right here.
Hmm.
But I also think like the fact that she did that is another reason why like they did get so close,
Yeah.
because Issa's like, "Oh, I respect it," you know.
Hmm.
She's not just like pretending it didn't happen or anything.
Yeah.
Like
And we know
not
she can be a
forgiven, but
bitch, so
yeah.
there's plenty of people she has not apologized to. Namely,
Oh,
a couple of
definitely.
twinks.
Yeah. It goes to show like she does actually care, and
And I think it also shows that she like for example, speaking of the twinks, like in the finale of season three, like after they do their bad blood video, and then she goes to Zay and Charlie and is like, I need help with my idea. And then they're like, Zay's like, Maya, I'm not gonna help you make a clapback video at Dasher when like you can't do that in like 2 days. Like it's just not gonna be good. And Maya says like, why would I do that when it wasn't even about me anyway? And Charlie and Sarah are like, right. But I think that like, that
Sure.
goes to show like Maya is aware and she's self-aware and she knows when she's like the one who fucked up. And in that situation, like she knows, but she's not gonna act like she knows that she's rude to Dylan and Asher because they're her enemies. But like here, she's like, okay, this is a moment where I should try to fix it.
Mm. Yeah, like she can sort of, she has that difference between she was sort of being her like bitchy self and then she was sort of being a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, it's a subtle difference, but she can see it.
Yep. So we're moving backstage. Um, I just highlighted this little moment here where Charlie and Ginger are together, and Ginger is giving him a note about cooling it on the kiss from here on out. She appreciates his initiative to just get it over with, but they want to look professional, not insane. And I'm just like, oh my god. Like, I love Charlie and Ginger's friendship. I think it's
Yeah,
very underrated, and we're getting a little bit more of that in season 4, which is really exciting. But just like the visual of like Charlie standing there like sheepish and like this is so awkward having Ginger be like,
yeah.
dude, you're insane when you kiss me. Like, you need to stop it. I don't know what your deal is, but like, we need to make this look normal.
Like, please, like, keep it more just it doesn't have to be a whole thing. And I love that we're seeing more of them now. Like this is I kind of forgot, not forgot, but like that this is like one of their earlier.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
they
this
don't
is their
really interact
beginning,
a lot
kind
before
of.
this.
And like, what an
Yeah.
awful, like, beginning foundation. But no, it's so true. Like, I think about, when I think about them, I think about this kind of episode for them a lot because it's just like it's
Hmm.
again it's kind of in the background in a way, but then when we see them later, like we see them in this season, and it's like to think that like that was their foundation is just so funny.
It is.
Because
And
also
it's
again,
just
like
such a
Yindra doesn't find out about him being gay until season 3. So for 2.5 seasons, like she's just like, why was he so weird about this? He was such a bad kisser. Like there's
yeah.
that's so weird. And then finally she's like, oh, it's because you're gay. That explains
I love it.
everything.
Yeah. It's such a it's just kind of it's almost a throwaway moment because then it immediately goes to Farkle.
Yes,
But
it is like an aside basically, but I just think it's so funny.
it is.
And I
It's
love
like
moments like that
what
too,
a
where it's
funny
like
moment.
moments are just passing along and you're kind of getting these little
Mm,
glimpses of the moments as they're happening. I love stuff like that. So like, and then especially when they're like so memorable and so good, even though they're just
yeah.
like right to the side.
Yeah, like it isn't actually the point of the scene. The point of the scene is Farkle,
Hmm.
but like they're there being like part of the scenery and having those random conversations.
Yeah. And I just think I just think it is so funny that Yindra felt the need to be like, I need to give him a note about this. Like before we go
Yeah.
out there and like humiliate ourselves, I need him to understand he's a bad kisser and he needs to stop it.
Like this is serious and we're not doing that again, okay, buddy?
Like, Charlie's humiliated enough, Yindra. Leave him alone. Have mercy. But she
Gosh,
doesn't know that, so
he hasn't. That poor boy.
I know. So yeah, speaking of poor boys, Farkle
Oh,
is
oh,
about
rich, rich.
to get ready and go on stage, and he's talking to his parents on the phone, and they're basically like, "Yeah, I don't think we can make it, bro. Like, sorry." And this is, I
So
think,
good.
we've gotten tastes of his weird kind of family dynamics in this season so far. But again, I mean, we've talked about this in the episodes that we've discussed. Like, he's somewhat in the background at the beginning of the season. Like, he has not become focal, really. Even in this
Hmm.
episode, this moment right here in his performance that we'll talk about when we get there, like, he has not been in this episode, basically. Like, he has been a bunch of other people being the focus, and then he's just kind of having this mental breakdown in the background. And so it's really interesting that it's just like, he's so fascinating to me. Like my
I
brain
feel
just
like
like
that.
stops working when I think.
I feel like him being in the background, it almost like makes it more like I can't remember how much of a sort of suspicion we have around him being um the Instagram
Hmm.
account
That it
guy,
builds a
but
little
like
bit more next episode.
yeah, I feel like him being in the background kind of works towards that sort of,
Hmm.
what's the word, like red herring.
Yeah, yeah, and that's true. Like when we get to that episode, we can talk about kind of the red herrings compared to like the actual analysis. And I think a lot of that happens next episode, so we'll talk about them. But yeah, I mean, there's that, and also I think the fact that his conflict in this episode is that he feels, and it's kind of his conflict in all of season one, is that he feels ignored, he feels
Yeah.
unappreciated, he feels like no one is actually seeing him, and the fact that even we as an audience are not really seeing him is contributing to that. It's emphasizing the feelings that he's internalized.
Poor little baby with
And
the
I
private
highlighted,
pain theater.
yeah, I highlighted his the description of what it says when he gets into character. He squares his shoulders, stepping back into character. Cold, removed, a man of the law, and then pushes through the doors.
Mm,
And I think I highlighted that because it reminds me of the way that he transitions into that character is kind of the way that he's gonna approach a lot of the stuff coming up. Is he transitions into a character. He becomes the caricature of Farkle rather than like being himself. And I think that that's such an interesting, like, that's his defense mechanism, is to like be a character.
sad.
So yeah, then
Yeah.
bam, we're in Act Two. it's the
Damn.
it's the midpoint. We're at the intermission. So Sean's giving them like praise, which is nice, good for him. And then we're in
Like,
break, we're
I
hanging
think it
out.
was good.
Yeah, I know, he's like,
I've
good job, no one booed.
never seen
So
it done before, but seems like it was good.
right, that good for him. Then we have this moment here where Agatha, we meet Agatha for the first time, Agatha Gardner. So she comes backstage
Oh
and she's
yeah.
like, Charlie, great job so far. And he's like, my sister. And then he asks when they have just a quick moment, like, oh, did Bridget make it? Is she here? And Agatha has this really interesting moment of having to be the one to break the bad news of like, Bridget is not here and she's not gonna be here. Like, it is like, what a horrible time to have this conversation, but she's basically like, Charlie, I don't know what to tell
This,
you.
yeah.
Like, she fucked up. She's got to pay the consequences for that. And I think we can talk a lot about in later scenes when you talk more about Agatha. We should actually have Esther on when we talk about Agatha, because we talk about the Gardner family a lot, and Agatha I think is a really interesting piece of the Gardner puzzle. Because I think here,
Yeah.
she's still relatively young too. She's like, it says, she's 22, and when the stuff happened with Bridget, she was 20, 21. And so I think she definitely carries the mantle of, I did everything right. And so, and for better
Mm.
or worse, she did everything right. And I think that she, at first, she's kind of going along with the family thing of like, Bridget, we, I don't, this is how we have to help her. Like, we can't help her right now. So she has to fix it for herself, and she's just kind of following the family gospel. But I think she has her own reservations about it, and she has her own questions. She's just, again, they're all so young. It's like, it shouldn't be their responsibility to like have to unpack the toxicity of their mother and her matriarchy. But the fact that she has to be the one to be like, sorry Charlie, like, Bridget's gone forever, is like so fucked up.
It is, and I think part of it is probably like once she realized that that would happen to her other siblings, now she's like protective of them. Like she's
Yes,
like,
yes.
Charlie, like you can't like let that happen to you. Like just be like me and
Mm-hmm.
do everything right because otherwise, like, what is all this for? And
Yeah.
honestly, like, is she okay? Like, I hope that's a little bit traumatic.
Charlie, obviously that makes Charlie feel like shit. But so he's like,
That kind of works for the show, though.
well, yeah, I mean,
So
totally. Everybody in their emo moments has really fit the vibe. But Agatha's like, okay, well, gotta go. Good luck. And he's got. I mean, this is the mild fear in his expression does not bode well. I mean, again, that is the great plot thing, but also just really interesting emotional thing about the whole idea of Bridget is, particularly in season one, before Bridget becomes a real known person to us, kind of similar to Grace and her the way that she operates in this episode. Like,
mhm.
Bridget is Charlie in Charlie's head. Bridget is what he will become if he fucks
Right.
up. So
Yeah.
that's like the fear and the dread and the sorrow, like all of that is like reflected by just the idea
Yeah.
of her.
Like he will become a ghost like her. He will like lose everyone and everything and disappear from Rosie and Agatha, and like that
Hmm.
is it's scary to him.
Yeah, especially because I mean we know like going forward into future episodes and future seasons, like his sisters are so important to him. Like they are
Hmm.
a huge piece of his life. I mean we know his dad is a big piece. Like that's a whole dramatic thing, but like his sisters are really important. And so the idea of like I could just disappear, I could just be for my because I can't control my sin, I'm gonna disappear. Is like, yeah, messed up. Speaking of messed up, we're getting into the hard hitting songs here. Farkle goes out to perform his final performance in the show, and of course, right before that, he tries to find his parents. He's like got that last little shred of hope, but no, his parents are not there. They weren't able to make it because, of course, they weren't. So then he jumps into his performance, which is Javert's Suicide Soliloquy. Um, this song, again, another one of my favorites in the show because I think it is so raw. It's just really, I like the way that it's described as like frantic, broken energy. And we were
It's
talking
very
earlier.
thoughtful.
Yes, we were talking earlier about how Farkle's best performances are the ones that are emotionally driven and like kind of the
Yeah.
what Riley does, where Riley does it all the time, whereas like Farkle's best ones are when he's not diva-ing, but when he's doing this. And I think that this is totally 100% true for this in this episode. Like this whole song is just like if you have not listened to this song, first of all, as much as I respect Russell Crowe and don't think he was terrible, don't listen to his version. Listen to the original 1985 recording. It's just like the feeling of it is like frantic and like frenzied, but like in a way that's like it's internal. It's just so good, and it fits Farkle so well. It's just so good.
Yeah, I wish I could see it honestly because like this is one of his like I can't even oh
I know we're both just
I
sitting here like
mean
ah.
I mean it's like it's so good just performance wise, but it's also just so like the reason it's so good is because he has all this emotion inside of him and no one is noticing. And
Yeah,
he's able to, everyone's probably like, wow, he's such a good actor. And he's like, somehow it wasn't acting actually. So,
yeah, and I think too, just like I mean, again, when you all were first reading this, back in 2019, like S
mm,
and I knew even then that his suicide plot was going to happen in season 2. And
right.
so him singing Javert's Suicide was like, this like kind of
Yeah.
subtle, but like, oh, bro, like we are going to go there. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's such a good number. I'm like sitting here like holding my temples, like, oh my God.
Yeah. I was like doing the same thing. Just myself.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can like really dig into the lyrics. I just feel like it's one of those ones where like if you just gotta listen to it and think about Farkle, and it's like, wow. Oh, okay. So here's a line I want to bring up. So,
Mm,
in the show, Javert's whole thing is that like the law and reason and justice is like his belief system basically. It's like
hmm
the only thing he knows, and the fact that when like it's like good and evil, right and wrong, like everything is black and white. And the moment that Jean Valjean, this person who he's been chasing and trying to quote unquote bring to justice for decades in their dynamic, like they had a moment in the earlier in the show where like Jean Valjean could have killed him and gotten away and like been free of him forever, and he spared his life. And like that's what's causing this schism of like faith and like stability, is that like Javert cannot comprehend, why did he spare me? It was his right to take my life and be free, and that would have been like the way I understand things. That's what would have happened. But he spared this man I think is evil. did the moral thing of letting me live, even if I continued to torment him. And that he cannot reconcile that, and that's what prompts his suicide, is he just can't live with that. It's like basically the inverse. Like, he says, like, this man has killed me even so by granting me my life, and he's gonna escape now from the world of Jean Valjean. So it's less that Jean Valjean was gonna escape him, but now it's been flipped where, like, for his own mental, he can't escape the world of the person he's been chasing this whole time. So, I mean, just so much to unpack even just in that, but, like, to me, the reason that kind of pairs with Farkle is I think that that's essentially what happens in season 2, is Farkle's truth and Farkle's faith and Farkle's life has been the dream. The dream, the dream, the dream. And when I get the dream, none of this is going to matter. It's all going to work out. And I think that this line of, like, and must I now begin to doubt what I never doubted all those years? My heart is stone, but still it trembles. The world I have known is lost in shadow. That's basically the core of it. Of that thing of, like, everything that I believed and held dear and lived for may not happen or isn't true or maybe was never right. And just the inability to accept that literally drives you mad. And that's basically what happens to him. Like, the ending of the song where he says, I'm reaching but I fall, and the stars are black and cold, and as I stare into the void of a world that cannot hold, there's nowhere I can turn, there's no way to go on. Like, all of this, like, Farkle could have, I mean, I like the song that he sings in season 2 better, but, like, he could have sang this in 207, and it would have been the same sentiment.
So true. I mean, and it's honestly, like, it's kind of not, like, brushed over, because then he just, like, lays there and, like, stares up, and we see him one more time when they finish, but
which is also sad, but
it is.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, that is, like, his kind of end to the episode. And
and it was kind of the beginning to his episode too, because he was barely here.
Yeah, it's weird though, because he does seem like he is there, but it's like, that's almost in a similar way to Zay being like the main in the musical, but then, like, not a main in this episode, but he's just kind of, like, observing, and he's sort of feeling lost and, like, apart from people, not sure what's going on. And then it's like the same with Farkle, like, he's not there, he's like, he's gone from himself and relating way too much to this.
Yeah. Like a red flag. No, literally. Yeah, I just think, again, if I could, like, emphasize for people to listen to a performance, like, listen to the song, because not only is the Farkle of it just, like, overwhelming, but it's also just, in my opinion, you know, to be a musical nerd, it's just a beautiful song. Like, the ways that the swells in the music, the way that, like, motifs from the show have been built into it and then, like, build here, it's just, and, like, if you listen to the 1985 London cast recording, the performance of the actor, like, the emotion in his voice is just incredible. So if you're gonna take any rec from me this episode, please listen to that one, even though I will probably say the same thing in, like, 2 minutes. But listen to Strawberry's Suicide Soliloquy. Really amazing. Cannot recommend it enough. But this moment here, you mentioned the one where he does his suicide fall and then he's, like, laying there. I'm fairly certain, I think it was Ellie that has said this, but someone, at least one person, has told me more than once that that's an image that they think about a lot when they think about ambition. Like, it's a very quintessential ambition image to them, in particularly season 1. So, yeah, it's iconic.
Like an Ellie thing to say.
It is iconic in its own right. So,
yeah, it feels bigger than this episode.
Yes. So, right on the train of really horrible, awful, sad things. Charlie is in the dressing room before his later scenes. He's having a bit of a mental breakdown. He's just, like, he's also dissociating. He's sitting on the countertop, resting against the mirror, And I wrote in my, to add some levity, I wrote in my notes, I hope Charlie turned his mic pack off so no one heard him having a mental breakdown. Because that's one of the worst things about when you're doing productions. If like I used to be a student critic, so I'd go to like other high schools and like watch their performances. And this is true of anything. I mean, this happens on Broadway, you know, it's just an honest mistake. But the worst thing on earth is when like, because the actors have their mic packs on basically all the time, and if they either don't turn them off or the sound people accidentally turn them on, and then you just like in the middle of the show hear people talking,
Yes,
or like it's like the most cringe thing. You're like,
it is.
no, particularly
No.
if they're like doing something awkward or like saying something awkward. So I just thought about like, I really hope Charlie, if he was having like a rough moment, like either if he was like crying or like talking to himself, because we know he's a freak and he probably talks to himself, like I hope to God that Lucas had that mic pack off, because rest in pieces, Charlie.
Just rough. I mean, I feel like Lucas would be really good at having them off because he'd be like, no, I'm never listening to the performance.
Yes, I also feel like he maybe like, surely he has at some point, if, at least freshman year, if not still now to this day, is like to all the performances like, just remember I control the mic pack. So like he could ruin their lives like if he wanted to, and like bring their mic up when they're not supposed to be on. That's a little bit of a Lucas power play.
Like he could do that. He probably did that one time. And that is one of the reasons why the performers are like, yeah, we hate him. Like, he's evil. He wants to ruin the show.
So good. So yeah, Charlie is emoing, and Dave is like, hey, like your song's coming up. So he's like, okay, I gotta get ready. And then Zay comes in. He's like getting it. He's gonna get ready to be super old. Good for him. Because I'm pretty sure like the next scene for him, like we're getting close to the end of the show, and like Jean Valjean, his piece in it all is that he gets to die of old age rather than like the 50 other times he almost died in the show.
Yeah.
So he's about to get old, basically. But they have this moment when they're passing in the dressing room, and you know, Zay is being like, you're doing great. And Charlie's like, you too. I'm dead inside. And Zay, I just like the way this transition goes. It kind of speaks again to that thing of Lucas had a similar sense of like, you only hear, if you're dissociated, like you only pick up on certain things. And the thing that kind of brings Charlie back to reality is Zay, out of context, saying they hated it. And like that kind of freaks Charlie out.
Yeah.
And I think it's because like in Charlie's head, he's still thinking about Bridget. He's thinking about consequences. He's thinking about the feelings I had at the movie theater. And so to me, what I intended when I wrote that line as the transition is Zay says they hated it, and Charlie's immediate instinct is, who told my parents? Who told my family? Like, they hate me? Like, that's what he reads when he hears that. That's like his immediate snap instinct. And that's why he's like, what do you mean? And then Zay, and obviously it's not that deep. And Zay's like, the movie that we're going to go see, you know, the one we said was going to be really, really bad. It's really, really bad. And Charlie's like, oh my God, like I'm not even on this planet anymore.
It's like, oh, movies. Yeah, I thought those were a thing.
Oh yeah, crazy. From backstage, Lucas is like, what's a movie? No, but yeah, I mean, it's just this man, this boy. Prayers for him.
That poor, like he is so scared in that moment.
Yeah, no, literally. I mean, we're just at the beginning of this whole journey, and the beginning's hard. It's hard. It's really tough. I highlighted this moment right before it transitioned to the performance when, you know, Charlie's shaking off the days. He's like, I gotta go do this. And he catches his reflection in the mirror and he gets stuck on it. He can't seem to look away from it. It doesn't feel like he's looking at himself. And that is such a huge motif to his arc. Like, there's a lot of stuff done, I mean, that we've seen already and that we're going to continue to see about, like, him and his reflection. Like, seeing himself, reflecting on himself, feeling removed from himself is, like, and reacting to himself is, like, such a big piece of his arc and, like, visual motifs. And this is kind of the first instance of it, because all the times we've seen him before, you know, we've been out of his perspective. So we've just been looking at him from outsider lenses. Now we're looking through his lens to a degree and looking at himself he feels so disconnected from it. And that's kind of the beginning. Again, precedent. It's introducing a precedent for that storyline.
Hmm. Hmm.
Which then brings us into emo hours number 2,
Gosh.
empty chairs and empty tables. So obviously
This
this is
song
it
is
again.
so sad.
Yeah, it's a very sad song in the original show. It's that Marius is basically the only person from his friend group left alive after the rebellion. So I mean,
Right.
that inherently is awful and sad. But Charlie's kind of spin on it is it's less about the fact that all my friends are dead, but it's more the reverse, is like you were talking about, like he's gonna be dead to people. Like
Yeah.
he is gonna
Yeah.
lose everyone because he is gonna be removed from the picture. So that's what
There's
he's
no
singing
one
to.
left. Yeah, no one left in his life. Just alone. Ugh.
Like this whole, again, I recommend listening to the song. I recommend listening to, I mean, I love Eddie Redmayne, but I recommend listening to the 1985 version because it's just superior. But it's just like all of the emotion in this, that I wanted to highlight this, the second kind of verse paragraph half of the song. Because the first half is, again, it's more about war. It's like very clearly about like revolution. We're gonna do this thing. It's gonna be great. But the second piece I think is very relevant to Charlie. It's, my friends, forgive me that I live and you are gone. There's a grief that can't be spoken. There's a pain goes on and on. Phantom faces at the window. Phantom shadows on the floor. Empty chairs and empty tables where my friends will meet no more. Oh, my friends, don't ask me what your sacrifice was for. Empty chairs and empty tables where my friends will sing no more.
Oof. Yeah.
Like when I think about phantom faces at the window and phantom shadows on the floor, I think about Bridget, because she has been kind of this phantom in this episode where she's been mentioned and the feeling of her is supposed to be there, but it's not. And I think that that's kind of reflected there. But then this, the idea of empty chairs and empty tables, like that's what my life is going to be if I mess this up. If I cave to the things that I am feeling, my friends are gone. My family's gone. Like all of it, they live and I'm gone. So like that, it's just so like, oh my God.
It's a lot. And it's just again like with Farkle, it's like everyone's like, "Oh my God, look at Charlie go. Like he did that so good. Like he seems so sad."
Because he is so sad.
Like his whole family's like, "Charlie, you're such an amazing actor. Like I can't believe you could act that sad when you're obviously so happy because you live in such a beautiful, amazing family
Yeah.
with all of us."
Yep. And it's like I love the moment here too, that it's like when the song ends, like Charlie kind of has a moment of like he forgot he was on stage.
Mm.
And it's like the applause happens and but it feels so far away and like removed, and it like the fact that it says like after a moment he gets himself to move. Again, like I think Charlie, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but like when he performs, unless he's doing the like riptide, like look at me being what I'm supposed to be, doing my little pop music, like when he performs authentically, it's like it's an experience, and it's like him, the emotions like breaking out of him and he can't control them. And I think that this is a perfect example of that, even though it's less crazy as some of the later performances get, but it's like he gets lost in the zone and then it's like he has to come back from it because the emotion just took over.
I would fully be crying if I was actually watching this.
Well, good, that's kind of the point. Les Mis, the miserables, we are miserable.
Yes, we're miserable.
It's okay though, we're fine, we're gonna live, it's gonna be okay. We are not empty chairs and empty tables, so Godspeed. We are coming now to the end. Crazy, it's been like 5 million years. So we get to this finale piece. It starts with orchestration and then later like it becomes the actual song. And I can be a little more specific about that, but the finale in the actual show is, like I said, it's when Jean Valjean like dies and then gets to join everybody else in the afterlife where they're like happier because they're dead and not in the awful world of reality. So cheerful. So
Lovely.
the first half of the song we just have it as underscoring like us getting to see everybody greeting the people waiting in the atrium. It's kind of a classic thing in our musical episodes to have that moment. You can see like all the love and the pride and people's parents are so happy and family. And so we see like Riley has a weird moment feeling like Corey and Topanga like feeling torn between them. Of course, that's going to be a continued theme. Katie's there for Maya and she's like, you were great. Like, you were amazing no matter what role you had. Kind of, you know, again, their dynamic is so important. Then we have this moment of Farkle wandering and he's accepting compliments. People saw him as a performer and they were like, you did so well, you're so great. But he's still the visual of him wandering this space surrounded by all these families and just wandering and not really having a place until Angela appears and she's, you know, you did amazing, it was great, and they share this hug. And I think that moment is kind of understated, but it's like that shows how important Angela's attention is to Farkle. That like someone sees him, someone appreciates him, and then again, like we're talking about this idea of my world collapsing. Angela leaves. She tells them she's gonna leave, you know, in the final episode, and that's another piece of like Farkle's whole world collapsing. Is like, oh my god, like this one person who I think supports me and gets me and sees me is gonna leave, and so like all of that is so important, even if he is in the background right now, you know?
Whole episode, it's like, it really is miserable.
Except, Hugh's here. Valerie Dela Cruz, she's here in the flesh to see Isadora. Craziness. And Issa's like, what?
Insane.
Like, how would you feel if you're just like at your high school show or like your siblings' high school show, and then you turn around and like Britney Spears is there? Like, what do? You're just like, what?
I feel like you would just be like, like, what? Did she watch me?
Like, it's like, is this real? Like, am I hallucinating? Like, what's going on? But Issa has a great excuse this time because she's like, I have to go do something, and we don't know what it is yet, but she has to go do it. So she runs and goes and does that. Riley and Maya have a nice like little moment of being like, all right, fine, we're fine, whatever. Then time for me to die. Zay is getting ready to go. It notes that, you know, Charlie's already gone. We don't know where he is, but he's gone. And Nigel and Yogi are like, peace out. And then Charlie sends a text to Zay, and we just see the text, and all it says is, I can't. And Zay just stares at it. And that's kind of their ending beat for this episode.
Charlie, come on. I mean, I don't know what he would have said, but still.
I highlighted it in foreshadowing because, you know, the idea of I can't is basically, unfortunately, the big build of season 2. Is they're trying and they're trying, but he can't right now.
Honestly,
it's just not working.
Just through season 3 as well, because it's like they can't be like they can't like grasp it. They can't continue, and they can't be together. Oh.
Yes, that reminds me. I was thinking about this today. Because I've been listening to Taylor Swift all day, and in State of Grace, there's the lyric. I'm not gonna remember it, but it's basically like. No, it's not. It's not State of Grace. In out of the woods. They say, oh, we were built to fall apart and fall back together. When I heard that driving home today, I was like, oh, that is so Zay and Charlie. Is that they were built to fall apart. And hopefully, maybe, fall back together.
Yes. I mean, but also, like, I hope more, like, I think the thing with that line is, like, it's such a great line, but it also implies that you don't mean to. Whereas I think if you were, like, stepping back together, like, the implied, like, I'm like putting aside like the difficulties and like in spite of all the like hardships, like choosing to
Mhm.
be with you. Oh, I mean, I trust they'll get there. I have hope.
But I do want to say, another reason I highlighted that is because I believe it's 403, but a little 403 bell ringing, of a parallel. So we have this scene with Charlie in season 1 and Zay. And then in season 4, when Zay is partnered with Vanessa and has to do their duet and they need to rehearse, almost the exact same thing happens where Vanessa just texts him and said, I can't.
Oh my gosh.
And in that moment, Zay was like, bitch, we have to rehearse. What are you talking about? But it's the same pattern. It's the same exact thing.
Wow. Jose.
Yeah. But yeah, I like when I wrote that in season 4, I was like, oh, the besties,
Ooh.
listen, there's a parallel here. It's a good one. Where's my gift set?
Oh, Jose. I mean, poor Charlie, poor Vanessa, poor everyone. Everyone's miserable.
It's the miserables.
But
But
it is a cute ending
yes,
scene.
we're gonna
Yeah.
button it with something not miserable and very cute. So Lucas, is in the booth and he's kind of like, whoa, like I didn't fuck that up. That's crazy. So then he like has this moment of like looking at the stage and like one thing I love that's like a really minor thing is just like Lucas's kind of love affair with the auditorium, and that it's like he acts like, God, I hate this freaking school and I don't want to be here and I'm but then like the truth of the matter is like he has all these tiny moments where it's like he loves that damn auditorium and he
Hmm.
loves that damn school, and like that's one of the moments of just him like having succeeded and like looking towards the stage and being like, wow,
Yeah,
okay.
like considering he supposedly like in quotation marks hates it, he spends so much time there and it is actually his home
Hmm.
and it's kind of funny because he hates his like real like
Hmm.
home, but he actually says he hates this like home he's made for himself and this home he's made like with the people around him.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. He actually is just a little baby who lives at the auditorium. He's just a little auditorium mouse.
Yes, so true. So then Issa comes in. It's like, hey, y'all good? We ready to go? And Lucas is like, yeah, almost. And then Issa's like, oh, great. And starts to sing. So this is where the song transitions into no longer orchestration, no longer orchestral, and into actually the music. Because Issa starts singing, do you hear the people sing? Lost in the Valley of the Night. And Lucas is like, why the fuck are you singing at me? But then he like gets a little less, why the fuck are you singing at me, when all the other techies arrive and they start singing it and they're all kind of doing it like silly, like look at us, like we're performers, so good. And they have like this cookie cake that they made for him for like having succeeded, and I just love the little moment of like they're singing, they're like hamming it up, and Lucas gets like really like sheepish and like
Yeah.
embarrassed but like fondly, and he's like, you all can't sing, like stop. And he's like kind of hiding, and that like way that he reacts, first of all, is so stinking cute, but second
So
of
soft.
all, it reminds me of, he does a very similar reaction in I think it's 403 as well, where he's Grace is talking to him about when he was little and he loved the rodeo and like would want to go all the time, and like he did almost the exact same reaction of like kind of hiding his face and being like, ugh. And I think it's just like that is like the most baby thing. Like I want to hug him. Like he wouldn't want me to hug him, but I'm like, you are my child.
Yeah, and do you know what? It's so beautiful because it's like this, like, is right after, I mean, obviously it's right after the Charlie and Zay thing, but that is right after the whole like people being with their family thing. And
Hmm.
it's like this this is the family. This is like
Yes.
what's so
Yes.
strong and what's like getting him through and what's getting Issa through and like
Hmm.
what's gonna not get Farkle and to some degree Charlie through. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's so true. It's so true. I mean, it even says, now there's a family.
Mm-hmm.
And we can talk about that too. Like the thing of like, it's not going to get Farkle through and it's not going to get Charlie through. When we get to Cruel Summer, let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about that because that's a big thing to address. Is kind of the
Yeah.
support system of different people.
Friendship.
But I also just want to say it's funny that Lucas says, you all can't sing stop, because the irony is like, most of them actually can sing. Like, we learn
Yeah.
Dylan and Asher can really sing. Jeff's actor genuinely can sing. He doesn't much in the show, but he can sing. Nate can sing because he's part of the boy band. Emery Kelly can sing. It's like he wants to be a singer. The only two that like truly on God cannot sing is Jade and Dave. Like everyone else can sing. So the fact that he's like, you all can't sing is just like, well, we all know that. Like even you, Lucas, you're lying. Stop it.
Yeah, yeah. They're all actually like really good singers, except for Jade and Dave, who, probably they just bring some good energy, good vibes.
Mhm.
I'm sure that Dave is singing really loudly and
Yes, yes.
terribly, and
And he
Jade is
doesn't care.
probably no, he's all about it.
I'm
They
sure
love
Jade
it.
is
They
just like lip
probably
syncing.
yeah, they probably asked Dave to sing
The
like
loudest.
a
They're like,
lot.
Dave,
Yeah, because
you need to
he's
do the
he's
most.
like a comedy guy. Like they probably like find it hilarious. I can so imagine Dylan and Dave and to some degree like Jeff and Asher and definitely Nate like making like those kind of weird like freestyle raps and like those silly like tunes
Yes.
together and like just singing all the time, and the performance would be like it's so annoying because they don't do it well,
Yeah.
and they're just having the best time.
Right. And they're having fun. Like, you don't have to do
Yeah.
it well to have fun. No, yeah. And I'm sure too, like, Jade, it's funny because I feel like I have gotten more than one person say to me, like, we love Jade because she's the tone deaf representation on the show that she truly authentically never sings. Like we were always like, Lucas doesn't sing, but like, yes, he fucking does. So like the fact that it's like there is an actual character who genuinely does not sing is like fun. So Jade should take pride in that.
Yes.
And the fact that she does not sing, but she is so iconic and needed to the show that she doesn't have to sing
Hmm.
to be relevant.
No, and it's like it makes sense. It works for her character. Like she's so pragmatic as well. Like
Yes.
she doesn't have any of that musicality to her. She's so like, this
Mm-hmm.
is not, that's not it. Not over there. I'm gonna sit here and do my little sewing
Because I
and
have to,
be
because no one else is
amazing.
gonna do it.
Yeah.
So yes, then we come to the finale here. We're watching the final part of the stage. We see Dylan and Asher give Lucas pats for being a good boy and doing well as the stage manager. We have that moment of Issa seeing Valerie in the audience and being like, whoa, whoa, hold on, for real? And that's kind of the tee up for what we're gonna confront in the next episode. And who knows what all this will bring when tomorrow comes.
Ooh. When tomorrow comes, love it. Love the ending.
And bam, that's the end of the episode.
Bam.
Craziness, emotions, insanity, mental breakdowns out the wazoo. Before we kind of recap a little bit, one thing, because we're already 5 million hours over, one thing I wanted to do is just kind of, in these musical episodes, I wanted to talk about like songs from the musical that I wish we could see that, weren't necessarily in the
Mm-hmm.
show, but that I like, because I've said if ambition were real in our musical episodes, I would 100%, if I had endless budget and could do whatever I want, I would have them do like a cast recording of like specifically like basically the cast doing all of Les Mis, so you could listen
Mm-hmm.
to them performing it as if you were watching the whole musical, even though you can't watch the whole musical. So a couple of songs I just wanted to note that I wish I could see or like hear them do in these roles. One would be Fontine's death confrontation. It's kind of the first true confrontation, aside from like the beginning when we're both introduced to both characters, between Jean Valjean and Javert. And it's like it's number 9 on the Les Mis original London cast recording, which I will keep telling people to listen to. It's like the way that they layer music is like, if you like Hamilton, where they kind of like layer harmonies and like different rounds over on top of each other. This song does that really well, and it's really interesting. And I would just love to see it between Farkle and Zay, because they kind of have this, you know, interesting adversarial, like, Hamilton Burr, Javert Valjean, like, relationship. And I think particularly in season 1, it's especially sharp because this is when Farkle is at his most prickly. You know, whereas in season 3, like, they're more like friends to a degree. So I would just love to see them, like, play that tension and, like, have that kind of vocal sparring. I just think they'd be so good at it. So that is one I wish I could see. Another one that was actually going to be in the episode but got cut is Stars, which is a Javert song. It's early, it's in the first act, and it's kind of the flip side of the coin to his soliloquy, because it's basically him, like, singing and explaining his whole way of life and his way of thinking and his belief system. That it's like, it's in the stars, it's law, it's reason. And that's why he sings in that song in the soliloquy, like, the stars are black and cold, is like, it's kind of a parallel to that of, like, he's lost what he thought he knew. And originally it was going to be in the episode as a Maya and Farkle song, where it was going to be both of them splitting. I mean, Farkle singing it as he's in the show, but also he shares the reason Maya is singing it, which is, to them, again, it's singing about their destiny of being performers. It was going to be about that being their belief, their journey, what they believe is their ultimate purpose in life. Which, again, you know, I talked about when we talked about soliloquy, about that being Farkle's whole entire belief system. And if we had had the room, which nowadays we just do whatever we want, so we probably would have included it. Back then we were still pretending that episodes weren't going to be long. But if we had kept it, like, it would have, again, like, totally doubled down on that idea of, like, Farkle's belief system is to performing as Javert is to law and reason and justice. So that was going to be in it. So listen to that if you have the time. Really fun. I mean, not fun, it's, like, emotional, but it's a good song. Then I mean, this is in the show, but I really wish we could see the love montage, the I Saw Him Once in My Life, A Heart Full of Love, just because I like that it has a lot of characters in it, and I also just really want to see that really awful kiss, because I think it'd be so funny. Sorry to Charlie, but it would be. I really, 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 really wish we could see A Little Fall of Rain, which is Eponine's death scene, but, like, the song is so sweet, and I just, like, knowing the friendship that Charlie and Riley go on to develop, I feel like if we had the cast recording, like, it would just be so special. Like, I would just go back and listen to it and be like, those are my babies, like, look at them like singing together and, like, being sweet and harmonizing, because they don't get to sing that often together. And so, like, to get to have an extra song that's literally just, like, Riley and Charlie singing is, like, it would be special to me. So, yeah.
Well, that's what's important.
And then the last one that I just wanted to mention specifically is the finale, because I think there's something really interesting about the fact that, like, the beginning of the finale is between Jean Valjean, Cosette, and Marius is, like, kind of there, because, like, Marius and Cosette have just gotten married, and then, like, Jean Valjean is, like, old and, like, has to die. But he's, like, you know, the father figure to Cosette. He's basically her father. And so they have this, like, very emotional, like, goodbye scene almost in this finale of, like, you know, Cosette's like, it's not time for you to go, like, it's too soon to say goodbye. And, like, they're having this very emotional moment, and, like, Marius is just kind of there because he's, like, he's basically, you know, like, taking over with Cosette. Like, Jean Valjean needs to move on. It's his time, and Cosette's not gonna be alone because she has Marius, but it's, like, that kind of transition. And I would love to see, you know, like, knowing what we know about these characters, like, Zay, Yindra, and Charlie doing that scene would just be really interesting. And then everybody else coming in at the end would be, like, you know, whatever. But, like, I just think it'd be really, really fascinating.
I agree. Especially those people playing those parts.
Right, exactly.
It really adds to it. Yeah.
And that's why I said, like, this section when we talk about Into the Woods is going to be, like, 20 minutes long, because I have so many things to say. Because, like, that idea of, like, the roles that they're playing on top of the show, like, that we know of these characters and their interactions and their relationships, like, that to me is what makes Into the Woods so juicy and so interesting. So when we get there, we're gonna have a lot of fun. But we're not there yet. We have like 7 more episodes and a whole cruise summer before we get there. But yeah, those are the songs I wanted to bring up specifically. I mean, obviously the whole musical is lovely, but like those are ones that I think are really interesting in terms of the characters and the story. So
Yeah. Cool. I love it.
now our kind of recaps here, our little closing moments. Who would you say was your favorite character?
Ooh, it's a tough one because it really is like a big spread across this.
Yes.
Um, I feel like I always say this, but Lucas
Mm-hmm.
was just like his storyline and like we just like there's so much going on, but also you get these like really nice moments as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I feel like you get a lot, but it's so hard because there's, so many cuties like
Yes.
Charlie.
Yes, I'll cover for you. My favorite character in this episode is Charlie. Again, it feels like his first like true episode. And we literally spent like 2 hours talking about him. So I feel like well deserved on his
Brilliant. Mhm.
part. But I did note that Lucas was my number 2 because again, like this episode does kind of feel like the opening of the door for both of their characters to really actually understand them as characters. So in that way, I think the episode kind of belongs to them in a sense. They are the miserables. It's true.
Yes.
So there you go. How about your favorite scene, if you had one?
My favorite scene. I mean, there's so many good
It's
scenes, and
very
this is
hard.
only going to
Yeah.
get harder. Mm, and especially because we've done this over so many days, I feel like I had different scenes each
What's
day.
your favorite scene per day?
Gosh. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, the Lucas scenes obviously
Hmm.
is my favorite. So like maybe not the one where he finds Grace, but like where he sits with Riley,
Hmm.
where he sits with Riley again, and there's eye contact.
When they sit in Riley, when they sit with Riley, that's like that's what
Yay!
it's all about.
Also, I think also like at the start when Riley is kind of like becoming more confident as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's really cool.
So true. Mine are again very very hard to choose, but the ones that jumped out to me when I was writing my notes, so therefore I'll go with my instincts. Are the RL booth scene, the first one. So when she goes to find
Mhm.
refuge in him, basically, and then for me, it's not truly a scene. It's like a little more of just kind of a beat, but the behind the set scene of Riley and Charlie before they go on stage together and they have that little bantery moment and then
Oh
talk
yeah.
about Zay a little bit
Mhm.
like I really can't express. I just love that scene. Like it is so special to me. Like it's so I just love
Mhm.
both of them and I love their friendship and I love that it's like again that glimmer of what they're gonna be
Mhm.
and it's very special to me. So that is very high up on my list.
Love it.
So yeah, how about your favorite performance?
Favorite performance? Ooh, I am going to go with I mean, it's between the two most upsetting ones, and Chad's Empty Tables
Of
or
course, of course.
Jibber's Suicide Soliloquy.
Yeah.
Um, they're both so good. I feel like I can. No, I mean, I think if there had been more description, it would be easier to choose. But at this point, like your descriptions were a lot shorter, so it is
Hmm.
easier to choose in your more recent episodes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, because you can really like
It
pick
gets
out little
it gets a
things.
little more conceptual and stuff like that. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're both so good because I feel like the actual like singing that I'm imagining, I'm thinking like Charlie, but
Hmm.
then the ending with like Farkle lying there is just so like
Hmm. Hmm.
so good. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I listed 3. I had tied for second was Empty Chairs and On My Own because again, just
Hmm.
Riley getting to Belle always great, and iconery of that song. But for me, number one, it's got to be the Javert suicide soliloquy, just
Mm-hmm.
because of what you'll come to realize about me as he gets more performances is I am a bitch for Farkle performances. I have said
Mm-hmm.
often, I think I said this actually in the first episode we recorded this podcast, that Farkle is my favorite performer. Like anytime he does performances, I'm just like the best song in the whole show. So like I am a stan, I have to admit. So I think just the fact that like I can imagine that his performance would be so gripping, combined with the fact that it is so like dripping with foreshadowing, it makes it obvious number one for me. But Charlie just gave him a run for his money, so
He did.
it's fair enough. Where did this rank on your 42 list? I think it's 42. 41?
Where did it rank?
Yes, it's out of 41 at this current time. It's more now, but we're sticking with 41.
My goodness. It's not. It's number 30.
Okay. Okay.
It's not terrible. But there's just so many other
Mm-hmm.
great ones. I think it's the fourth highest season one, which I think is fair,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. How about
Nice.
you?
Very different. So it's number 10 for me. It's very,
Nice.
very, very high. A big part of that is just, I mean, everything we just talked about. The fact that it took 5 hours to have this episode
Mm-hmm.
discussed
Mm-hmm.
is kind of a testament to that. And it to me, it deserves to be in the top 10 of mine. I think it is the only other one. No, that's not true. Let me check. Let me double check. But I think there's three from season one in my top 10. But I want to confirm very quickly. But it is one of the ones from season one that's in my top 10. Let me check. Okay, no, there is only two. There's only two episodes from season
Mm-hmm.
one that are in my top 10. And that was one of them. And Black, the Color of Techie Scorned was the other one. So we have hit my top 10 season ones. I know
Wow.
everyone's gonna like be like, what the fuck? You mean the finale's not? And what can I say? It's not. So again, I mean, like you said, there's just so many good ones that it's some
Mm-hmm.
gotta not be in the top 10. But this one to me, for just for my purposes, deserves its place. Um, and the last thing I'm going to do real quick, just because we said we would do it 4 days ago when we started this, is going back to the synopsis and talking about how it applies now that we've gone through the whole episode.
Right.
So like I said, Sean's thing is a really kind of a throwaway. It's kind of a misleading thing. It doesn't really matter. Lingering tension over casting choices bubbles over. This, of course, refers to Maya and
Mm-hmm.
her bullshit. And also a little bit like that applies, Maya's being the bitch about it, but like that applies to Issa and Riley too, because both of them are kind of doubting
Mm.
their roles and like, did I deserve this? Am I supposed to do this? So that's where
Right.
that comes in. And then deceptively rosy circumstances prompt students to seek refuge in unlikely places. So that
Mm.
refers to the obvious one that comes to mind is Riley and Lucas. That Riley, when she's like, when it seems like everything's good with Corey and Topanga and like throws her off, like where does she go? She goes to Lucas to hide from that and to seek refuge. Another one is Charlie and Zay, the friendship building there, and like the fact that like until it gets terrifying, it's like they're kind of building friendship is kind of an unexpected, unlikely, just like reason for living for Charlie. And then I'm blanking, but I feel like there was another one too. I mean, oh yes. So Issa reaching out to Valerie is the other one that it's like you wouldn't
Right.
expect her to ever do that, but she does in this episode. So yeah, that's how that line multi applies.
Oh,
So there you have it.
there we have it.
So we made it through this. I really don't know how many parts this is going to end up being. My guess, I'm going to predict it's going to be 3 parts, but we'll see what happens. Next episode, we're going to be talking about 110, the duets, the first duets episode of the series. So get excited for that. And we're going to be talking about this really soon because we're trying to get to 112 before you're here. So here we go. Maddie, do you have anything else? What say you?
Super hype for everyone to sit down and listen to many a mental breakdown here.
Yeah,
And hopefully, yeah, join us in the miserables. How about you?
amazing. That's I let you rap. That's what I do.
Thank you.
With that, welcome to Adams. This is surely it.